You are struggling with the afternoon slump, then this is the video for you because you need to understand what causes the afternoon slump because it isn't just something that happens in the afternoon, it starts at the beginning of the day. It's a real thing and it really does have an impact on how productive you are each day, how much work you can get done, whatever it is. It usually hits between about 2 and 4 o'clock when your energy dips, your brain gets a bit foggy and you struggle with the motivation. Your motivation takes a coffee break, basically. So the afternoon slump is a real thing. It doesn't have to be something that stops you from being productive through the course of the afternoon. In fact, you don't have to struggle with it at all because it all depends on a certain number of things that you're doing before the afternoon slump, usually from the first thing in the morning. So, the first thing I would suggest you did is just adjust your lunch and move it away from carbohydrate based lunch like sandwiches or pasta or rice, for example, sugary drinks, that kind of thing, and start focusing on trying to get more protein and more colourful fruit and vegetables in at lunchtime. So move away from the heavy carbs, the bread, and start focusing on trying to get colours into your lunch at lunchtime. If the afternoon slump is really something that is really getting you down, then that is the first place to start, is to start adjusting your lunch. Get more protein in, get more good fats in, like seeds and nuts and avocado, and get more colours on your plate. So that would be the first place I would start, is adjusting my lunch. Then I would try and move after I'd eaten. So just even sometimes just 10 minutes, a walk around the block or a walk up and down the stairs, or even just a walk around the office if you're based in the office. That can really help. That little bit of movement can really help to give insulin a purpose. It moves the glucose into the cells and it stops you from having this kind of spike and then crash in the afternoon, because it's all about insulin and how our body responds to insulin, how we respond to glucose. So anything that we're eating at lunchtime is going to be either released quickly or released steadily into the bloodstream. Bread, pasta, that kind of thing at lunchtime is going to be released quickly. Chocolate bar, crisps, all those kind of things will release quickly into your bloodstream. If you're having more colourful lunch with lots of protein, that's going to be released much more slowly. If you're releasing quick glucose into your bloodstream, that will be a spike and a crash, and you will inevitably have the afternoon slump. So the first thing to do is to adjust your lunch. Then the second thing to do is to try and really move a little bit after you've eaten, to give insulin a purpose so that you don't get that spike and crash. You just get this steady release of glucose, and insulin is used in an effective way to move the glucose into the cells for energy production. And then the third thing to do, and actually there's two things to do here, is what you do first thing in the morning, because those two things will have a huge impact on how you feel for the rest of the day. Natural light in your eyes first thing in the morning will really help to reduce the impact of the afternoon slump in the afternoon, but also having a protein-based breakfast first thing, that's going to help with the afternoon slump too. Because again, it's about how insulin is released into your system. If you're having a carbohydrate-based breakfast and cereal on toast, it's going to spike your blood sugars and they're going to crash, and then you'll be reaching for snacks mid-morning and you'll have another spike and another crash, and it will go on like that throughout the day, and it exacerbates when you get to the afternoon slump. If you have like a protein-based breakfast, the release of insulin and glucose is much slower, it's much more steady, and therefore if it's steady, you avoid having to snack mid-morning, you can make better choices at lunch, and you don't get the afternoon slump. If you want more information, I've got in the show notes below, there is a simple 5 top tips to get rid of the afternoon slump guide that you can just download and have a look at. It's dead easy to follow, but that's the kind of thing that you want to be following if the afternoon slump is starting to get you down. And by the way, don't use caffeine to lift you back up again, because if you're using caffeine anytime after 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it's going to impact your sleep that night. So all that ends up happening is basically you're stealing energy from the following day, because if you're not sleeping very well, then the following day you're not going to have much energy then either. So you want to be avoiding caffeine after 2 o'clock, which means everything you do in the morning is what's going to help you to avoid the afternoon slump in the afternoon. With just a few simple tweaks, you can really help yourself to get rid of the afternoon slump. You can have more focus, you can have more energy. and you get this kind of second wind throughout the course of the afternoon. You'll be much more productive if you are not getting that, if you're not having that carb-based lunch and not getting the afternoon slump in the afternoon. So just click that link below and download the 5 top tips to help reduce the afternoon slump or get rid of the afternoon slump. And do let me know how you get on if you manage to eradicate the afternoon slump by following those simple tips. I'll speak to you very soon. Take good care. Bye-bye.